Hello friends, welcome to VFX Pipeline channel, and in this video series I will show you how you can automate your Active Directory operations with Python programming language. So before we start, if you haven't subscribed my channel, please subscribe and let's proceed. Let me just clear first thing. What is Active Directory? Active Directory is a directory service which is developed by Microsoft for Windows Domain Network. And Windows Domain Network, let me just clarify that. I will not go with theory, I will just give you some practical example. So let's say if you are in a company and in that company there are 50 employees, they are working there. And for those 50 employees, you must create 50 user account so they can actually access their computer through their account. So if you don't use any directory services, what you have to do, you need to create locally those user account, and that is very bad process that and even you can't even apply like 50 users in each machines, not a good idea. So what you have to do, you need to create a centralized user account so everyone inside the domain, inside the local network, they can log in through the same credential. Not even their login details, even if you create the roaming profile, their desktop and their computer settings will be accessible through any computers inside the network. So that means with Active Directory, we can create users and also we can create groups of users. So group means if those 50 users and you want to create some leads group, some juniors group, seniors group, and also you want to create a group which actually you don't want to give USB access to those group. So with that you can create multiple group and assign users in that group. What will happen with those group, you can apply some custom group policies. With that group policies, what will happen, you can control the computer settings, you can control the like user configurations. What kind of configuration? Let me just give you some practical example. Let's say you don't want users to change their wallpaper. It's a very simple thing, but if you want to control the setting, you can control centrally. So once you apply that group policy, none of any users can change their desktop wallpaper. Not even desktop wallpaper, even you can apply something like end user cannot change their IP address. So they can't even access the network settings, and that is very useful in terms of security. So you don't want end users to play around with their IP address and something like that. One thing is that. Another thing is you can always control the ports, which is like USB ports, and so all these access you can control through group policies. Also, there are things which is like you can install softwares and updates in all computers in your network through Active Directory. So it is very important in that sense also. You can manage the folder access. And when I'm talking about that Active Directory service, it's actually using this LDAP. If you haven't heard about LDAP, LDAP is lightweight Active Directory services. And in that LDAP, what will happen? You can configure your file servers. For example, if you're using a NAS box like Synology or Isilon, they have functionality where you can provide Active Directory users and group. Those users and group, based on that you can set some permissions, read and write permissions. So if you want only group A can read and write and group B can only read, you can do all these operations through those users and groups. The third part is it is very important for managing the internet access. There are other options also available, like you can use firewall and you can use some other settings to control the internet. But at Active Directory level also you can control the internet, where you can create some custom host entry and route those URLs to somewhere else, so end user will not access the website. Let's say if you want to block facebook.com or some other social networking websites inside your company, you can utilize Active Directory service. Also, in terms of that, you can also use for network security, where you can disable the USB, which is I already covered that, right? In this video series, what we're gonna automate, we will automate few tasks which we will add multiple users and groups. We will edit multiple users and groups. We can remove users through Python, and these all things will be done through Python. So we will not open the Active Directory server at all. We will just create some tools which we will just place on Active Directory server, and then we can control everything from our remote computer. And I'm not going to use any other third-party services or paid services. We will create everything from scratch using Python and free libraries, and with that we can just play around with all this stuff. So we will create users, create groups, we can add users into those groups, we will remove users from those groups, we will activate and deactivate users through Python. And also the important thing, you can change passwords of your users through Active Directory Python client that we're gonna write. Also, we can use you can modify users, like you can enable and disable users with that. Okay, so these are the things that I will show you. Whatever I will show you here, it's not everything that you can do. Definitely I will give you a idea of what you can do. Possibilities are very much. You can explore a lot of things you can do with all these kind of commands. I will show you with few examples, and you can explore many more. And also, if you have some great ideas about this, you can just let me know. We will implement that and make this tool better for everyone. So how we will automate Active Directory, right? So the idea, I would like to share my idea first. We will create two Python files, and I name those files. One is Active Directory bot and another is Active Directory client. Both we will create and place inside Active Directory server, and our client will send some commands to Active Directory bot, and both will execute on the server. So this is our custom communication channel that we want to build to execute our directory services command according to our needs. So in Python, we have full control where we can get the data, manipulate the data, and proceed with some custom commands and send to Active Directory server through our Active Directory bot. So don't worry about that. I will show you how to create this Active Directory client, and I will also show you how to create this Active Directory bot. And it's very simple. So to proceed with Active Directory services command and our bot, which we will place to Active Directory server, what that will do. So before that, you need to understand one thing. In Windows Server, you already have a command line tool for directory services, and you can do a lot of things. If you have access to that server through command prompt, you can create directly on that server. Those commands are dsadd for add objects, dsmod for modify object, dsget for display object, dsmove for move object, dsquery for query object, and dsrm for delete object. We will use these commands to execute our operations on AD server, and we will not log into AD server. We will just place our bot there, and our bot will do all this command execution on server. So what we need for that? We need Python 3.6, 64-bit I'm using, and you can download it free from python.org. We need one library for remote procedures command, and I'm going to use rpyc, which you can download from the website. The link which I give you, you can also find in description below. And I'm going to use PyInstaller, and that is optional if you want to build an exe. For now, I'm going to use exe because I don't want to install Python on my Active Directory server, right? So in our AD server, we will just send a exe file, and that exe we will execute there, and we are good to go. All right. At the end, you can find all my source code to my Git repository. So if you want to follow this tutorial, you can follow this entire video series, and you can go and get the source code with exes, with everything which I am going to do in this series. I will upload there. You can download and use it for free for everything, for learning purpose, for production purpose, any purpose you want. So if you haven't subscribed my channel, please subscribe and let's start our video series.